My name is Claire Westall, and this is my audience, and today I'm going to be teaching them how to carve a pumpkin. Now, the first thing you need to do when you're going to carve a pumpkin is to make sure that you have a proper workspace set up for the carving. What I recommend doing is getting plastic garbage bags because they're super cheap and they're super easy and, simple to use. I just took a couple of them and I put them down on the table, and then I taped them down so that they wouldn't move. And then the second most important thing, besides picking out the pumpkin, is the tools you use to carve the actual pumpkin. They have really cool kits available at like grocery stores and stuff like that, which is really cool. And they come in these cute little packages. Also has like some stencils in there that you can use as well. I am not the kind of person who uses a stencil, so I went ahead and I carved the pumpkin however I felt like it. So yeah, when you're picking out your pumpkin, it's really important that you find a pumpkin that has a nice round shape and that is big enough or small enough for you to handle. I remember as a kid getting huge pumpkins and then getting really upset halfway through and crying because I couldn't manipulate the pumpkin. So it's really important to get a pumpkin that you can easily manipulate, move around, and isn't too heavy for you or isn't too small, because you also can run into problems if you have large hands like I do, fitting them into the pumpkin to actually scrape the guts out. Which leads me to my next point, actual carving of the pumpkin. When you start with the carving of the pumpkin, obviously the first thing you need to get off is the top of the pumpkin. And you start by just taking your knife and you stick it in there and go all the way around. I recommend sticking it in there and letting it like at an angle towards the stem, because that will prevent the cap from like falling through, because if you do it the other way, it's going to be a mess and you won't be able to pull off and put on the top of your pumpkin. It's just going to fall through. Then, once you've, cut all the way around and got a good, nice circle or whatever, you can pull off the top, and then you need to clean it out. To clean out the pumpkin, you can use something like this. This is what came in that kit. Or you can use like a big spoon or whatever you're comfortable with using. I guess a spatula or something would like that would work too. It's all just personal preference. And then you go ahead and you scrape out all the guts using the handy dandy tool. And you can use your hands too. I mean, this is a messy process and that's part of the fun. So then once you've scraped all of your guts out, it is time to decide what design you want on your pumpkin. And what I like to do personally is take this little guy right here, and it has like it's a dull pointed end, and I like to make dots in the shapes of the shapes that I want to cut out. So if you want to make an eye, like a shape like a triangle, or shaped like a circle, whatever, or if you're just doing, a unique, like a cat or something like that, it's really cool to be able to map out what you're going to do with this tool. So that's something that's really cool, and I like to do. And then once you've had all of your dots placed, then I take either one of the knives. I mean, there's 3 of them, and they all work pretty well. They all kind of have different, serration, I guess you would call that. And so once you've had made your outline, you can go ahead and start cutting these out. And then you just take your time and make sure that you're staying in the lines or not. Do you? I don't care if you don't want to stay in the lines. And then once you've made an entire shape, you go ahead and punch it out and repeat that as many times as you need for your desired design. And then it will end up looking something like this. Yay! And then all you have to do is stick a candle inside, and you're ready to celebrate Halloween.